While we Malaysians go quietly about our daily business, there are actually a number of really important things happening that we are not so aware of. Like the European Union celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. What is also unknown is that the EU is very much present and active in Malaysia.
Setahu saya dia bekerjasama di antara Malaysia dengan negeri-negeri lain kan. Itu je lah setakat yang saya tahu.
EU brands. Can I say Ferrari or IKEA?
EU. No, I have no idea.
So sorry for this. It's high time that we are going to do something about this. While EU may not be known very much, many Malaysians do like European companies. Then of course there is business, trade and investment. The EU is directly responsible for organising the external trade of all EU member states with developed countries like Malaysia.
Saya suka perabot dia. Lepas tu untuk kalau buat decoration bilik memang sangat sesuai lah. Sebab cermin dia, lampu dia sangat menepati cita rasa saya lah. Sebab tu harga dia sangat affordable. Saya setuju dengan harga dia dengan design dia.
Alright, I like to come here because it's family friendly and also gives a lot of ideas on what I can do to my home. Plus it's affordable, yeah. So that's why I like to come here.
And the whole store will be formed around a customer experience that are customized for the Malaysian customer. So that is in short how we try to be local relevant by structure and thinking and then by acting in the store. Then for each store we have about 50,000 euro budget to do something for the local community so that the store can put its fingerprint on how we like to be, how we like to be perceived, something they're proud of, something they can see when they go home from work, something that makes a difference in that society.
EU-Malaysia trade and investment relations are literally big business. Malaysia is the EU's second biggest trading partner in ASEAN. For many years, the EU member states combined was the most important investor in Malaysia.
The European companies need markets where there's going to be growth in the future. Malaysia is the perfect entry point into ASEAN. Therefore, so far the relationship has been very good. A lot of companies have come into Malaysia, a lot of European companies from Germany, from France, from the UK, from Italy, from all the countries. And this trend will continue because Malaysia is definitely the most cost-effective and the best value for money entry point into ASEAN. And so I believe the trend will stay and it will develop further. I am a strong believer, I'm a strong EU fan and EU believer, so I really think and hope that Europe will gather the strength, reunite and move forward stronger than before.
Another area where the EU is really active, climate change and preservation of forests and biodiversity, are particularly important in Malaysia.
Well, Malaysia and Europe have a big stake on environment, on climate, on our migration challenges, on our security challenges, and we cannot do this alone. Not Europe alone, nor Malaysia alone, nor Asia alone. We need to do that in global partnership.
In Sabah, the EU has a large project for REDD+, the UN's program to use and preserve existing forests for carbon storage. Besides this, the project also aims to directly assist local communities in plant management.
Pendapat ko tinga tinapati kuling dit sebelum pentinga megalit sabar-sabar aku pa sabab nga asa nununod pendedahan te ka maklumat ka nunun apa di berkaitan dat kemandai kuling bah pira-pira taklimat panarangan sesed kan baru kapuriman hade lah kapuriman hade tinapay kuling nga kaniko may pagano dit kaniko may pagano dit peluang-peluang hiti ka itong megala tong tanah ka macam-macam lah Nui nakatarang dia lah nga memang kat sanang kopya lah sanang kopya megalat menghopi di kampung dat nuri papensawat ekonomi dan megalat lebih kurang dari segi pelancongan megal lebih kepada megantap dit sebagai contoh hakisan dapat hitinga dikuling telah menyadarkan dat megal dati dat pengkukuran megantap berlaku akan datang.
Another remarkable project is the Southeast Asia Peatland Preservation Project, where the EU pays to replant peatlands in Southeast Asia, including Malaysia, to prevent them from falling prey to fires. This mitigates the annual haze. One of the project sites is here in northern Selangor.
Conservation and rehabilitation of peatlands and forests is crucial in the fight against climate change and stopping transboundary haze in Southeast Asia. The European Union, through its support of the CP project, has brought stakeholders together to conserve and rehabilitate peatland forests in Malaysia and the region. European Union ambassadors have joined local communities and other stakeholders in planting trees in Malaysia's peatlands.
In the past, the EU has also been looking after the neediest people in Malaysia. For example, migrant and stateless children in Sabah. EU has been relentlessly supporting the efforts of basic education of thousands of young children.
Doktor. Tidak, jadi penyanyi. Aku tak tahulah. Fikirlah nanti besar menjadi apa saja.
And so I think we are grateful to the European Union for posing those kinds of serious questions that will, that forces Malaysia to rethink some of its issues and some of its positions, and hopefully we can evolve gradually into a more enlightened perspective of human rights.
We've worked very closely on human rights issues with the European Union. We've found that the diplomats working on those issues are skilled, accomplished, and very committed. We believe that the European Union has been a tremendous force for human rights in Malaysia.
We have relations with the big NGOs, and as a company in Southeast Asia, last year I think we contributed about 1.5 million Singapore dollars to NGOs, and of things that makes us proud and where we can make a big difference in society.
One of the most important things the EU does in Malaysia is to stand for universal human rights. That is what the EU was founded on. Through people-to-people contacts between the EU and Malaysia are the pillars for higher education exchanges. Hundreds of young, bright Malaysian students have been receiving EU support for doing part of their studies in the EU.
Merci. Oh, terima kasih.
Thank you, EU.
You have seen some of the things that the EU does in Malaysia. All of these activities are organized by the EU's delegation to Malaysia. This small but dynamic office stands under the lead of the EU's head of delegation to Malaysia, Ambassador Maria Castillo Fernandez.
Today we have 5 million European citizens sharing and living in freedom and in economic prosperity and in peace. And we always forget that it's peace and stability what we have today. And we are working together in complement with all the EU embassies in Malaysia. And together we form a big group.
It is also about every EU country's diplomatic mission and its 17 EU ambassadors, as well as European cultures living in Malaysia.
That Europe is also a positive story. That not all the things are going bad in Europe, that we are still continue to be a global economic and political player in the world, but also in Asia and also in Malaysia with our Malaysian partners.
As you have seen, the EU at 60 is not thinking about retirement. It's alive and kicking and here to stay in Malaysia. The EU will continue to work at the service of the people, whether they are in Europe or in Malaysia. That is the way the EU is. So there is nothing more for us than to wish them a happy birthday.
So on this 60th anniversary year of the European Union, I'm happy to wish you joyeux anniversaire.
Congratulations to the European Union on your 60th anniversary.
Congratulations on the 60th birthday EU. Grattis på 60-årsdagen EU.
So let me take this opportunity to say happy birthday European Union, happy birthday EU, buon compleanno Europa.
Saya ingin mengucapkan selamat hari jadi yang ke-60 EU. Tahniah.
Good luck. We look forward to working with you in the future, and congratulations on the 60th anniversary.
Selamat hari jadi EU.
Congratulations Europe to your anniversary. We love you.
Happy birthday EU.
生日快乐 EU.
பிறந்தநாள் வாழ்த்துக்கள் EU 60th anniversary.
Happy birthday EU.
Kotobian Tadao Kinohidian Alamaiti.
Happy birthday EU.